Oliver Goldsmith is quoted as saying, "What is friendship but a name, a charm that lulls to sleep, a shade that follows wealth or fame, but leaves the wretch to weep? And love is still an emptier sound, the modern fair one's jest, on earth unseen, or only found to warm the turtle's nest." Is this a pessimistic view on friendship and love? Or is it just trying to remind us of the reality of life? He says friendship is just a name, a shade that follows wealth or fame. The reality is that friendship, in most cases, is a result of something that you have to offer. All of us have something to offer, even if it's just companionship, someone to spend time with. So, generally speaking, those people that we call friends are just there to benefit from something that we have to offer, whether it's a good time together or good conversation or shared experiences, whatever it may be. This tends to be what causes people to develop friendships. And back when I was in high school, there was a janitor who would tell me, listen, a real friend, a friend is someone who would do anything for you. And I mean anything. As opposed to the people that you call friends, he said. Those are just acquaintances. So that stuck with me for decades because he was alluding to this idea that friendship is real friendship is when there's a shared sense of values, a shared vision for life, and a strong bond, which sometimes is indescribable or unexplainable. But a friend is someone who would do anything for you to help achieve that shared vision of the future. So, a friend who cares about you, cares about your future, they want to do anything to help you improve your future. So, it's not pessimism, it's just telling you that real friendship is much more deep and much more rewarding than mere acquaintances that you happen to associate with out of convenience. And then now we move to love. He says love is still an emptier sound. It's even less prevalent in the world. Real love, true love, is an emptier sound. It's the modern fair one's jest. I love you. I love you. So it's just a play between young people, between people who are looking for companionship. True love is not self-seeking. It's not self-centered. It's not what's in it for me or what have you done for me lately. True love is an unselfish, non-egoistic field of giving where you give without any expectation of receiving and you give without any expectation of exclusivity. You give without any strings attached. That is true love. You feel for the other person without expecting them to feel in return or to do anything in return. And you care for the other person without expecting any reward whatsoever from the fact that you're caring for them. So true love is still an emptier sound, he says, on earth unseen. Sounds very pessimistic. He says there's almost no such thing in the world. Or maybe, perhaps, he says, to warm the turtle's nest. If you've ever seen how turtles lay their eggs, they come ashore onto a beach and they dig a hole. And they carefully lay dozens or hundreds of eggs all at once. And then, with all the care in the world, they cover that nest with sand before trying to make the sometimes dangerous trek back to the ocean. The sun comes out, and some of them get stuck on rocks and branches and get burnt alive, get dried out by the sun. So the turtle, with all the care that any mother would have, carefully buries the eggs in the sand and covers them up. And then, rather than sitting there and watching and hoping and raising her children to adulthood, she walks back into the ocean and hopefully survives. So she risks her life to lay the eggs out of love for her unborn offspring, and then she abandons them. That doesn't mean that you should abandon your children, but this is the exact opposite of what most parents do, which is constantly ride on their children's backs with advice and do's and don'ts, and constantly berating their every move or telling them exactly how to live life, as opposed to letting them try and make some mistakes and learn from their own mistakes. And setting an example of living a peaceful and productive and happy life as a parent. So the non-attached version of love is what the turtle displays. It does everything it needs to do as a mother, and knowing full well that she cannot protect and save all her dozens or hundreds of offspring that are born that year, she leaves them to learn from their own mistakes and hopefully survive. So love is still an emptier sound. It's even less common than friendship. The feeling of affection, of love for another person, or at the other extreme, for all people, to feel and care for and care about all human beings and perhaps all living beings, without any expectation of anything in return, or even an expectation of that person doing well in life. You do what you can do, you do whatever you think is right to do, but you leave that person alone to figure out for themselves what the best course of action is. And on this channel, you don't get very specific advice. There's not a lot of practical, personal advice for your life or for an individual's life. It is somewhat general because you need to if you want to improve your life, you need to think about what's being said, reflect on it, and try to make it your own. Try to do the best you can. I have no expectation of you taking this wisdom and doing anything specific with it. It could be used for good or for bad. It could be used to take advantage of people, or it could be used to help people. That's up to you. I have no responsibility for how you use this wisdom. So when you care about a person, whether it's in friendship or in love, just do what best you can do and leave the rest to that person to decide.